strangers, welcome back. I don't know if you know this, but we recently passed the 1 year mark on this series, this channel, which is pretty insane to me. I don't know how we got here, but we're gonna keep moving on with it. So today's project is back in our city here. We landed in the fountain. Perfect. Obviously, we have not a lot here so far. We've got 3 houses over there, a fountain to act as the town center, and the docks. That's really all we have. So today, I am looking to add stuff to do around here. So far, we've got places for people to live, place for import-export, and a main town center. We don't have anything to do. So, I think this area right here would be the perfect place to put a cafe of some level. I don't actually know quite what I'm doing with it yet. I've been trying to figure out the color palette, so I'm going to go finish picking out the color palette, and then we're gonna get building. In terms of the color palette, so I decided that since this place is living on the plaza, it needed to tie into the plaza, which ended up with me choosing this spruce and smooth red sandstone palette. It also initially had a lot more acacia than it ends up with in the final product, but I changed out some of that because it just didn't fit well. As far as shape goes, I basically just went into it putting a whole bunch of boxes together, just stacking them up on each other and seeing how it went, which works better when you have a more defined roof idea, but I didn't really have a plan for a good roof. I had a plan for a dome in the center of the main roof. So there was a lot of finagling things around to try and get the roofs to work. We also went in and added to the color palette by bringing in bone and white concrete. Those weren't initially in the color palette I set up, but I realized I needed something else for the roofs, and those worked well. And then, of course, right at the end, you'll see me mucking with this area that's out on the plaza. And really, it's just that I really didn't like how the roofs were lining up, so I decided to add another section of roof that went right down from the top. Listen, I'm not much of a summer fan, but I'm a big fan of summer fruits. And I just had the most perfect peach, which has also given me the idea that maybe we need to add in some level of farmer's market, or at the very least a fruit stand, in this area that we're making right now. However, that is definitely off topic. This is what we've made so far. This is our cafe. This is definitely a build that took a lot of doing and redoing. But if we come in here, you can see we've got this downstairs area. I really like the bone and spruce checkered flooring. And then it comes out to a bit of a patio area almost. This is where we're going to set up some outdoor seating right out on our town square. Another counter space up here where we're going to set up our kitchen area or whatever. And then we've got more outdoor seating over here and more outdoor seating over here. And this comes out on this level, which currently is the main way to get from up here down to the level of the plaza. Eventually there's going to be a path that comes up over here. I'm pretty sure this is where I want to have the path go. I haven't fully figured that out yet, partially because a lot of how the paths wind around is going to depend on how the buildings end up looking when we finally build them. So that's the main plan for a path, but other than that, we've got a pretty neat way of getting up and down. Another thing that I want to point out on this build is the dome. So the entire place is just filled with light. Because even in areas where it's not open and outdoors, we've got this giant glass dome that lets in so much light and makes the place feel really open even if you're not looking up at it. And it also looks really cool from inside. If you're standing in here, you can just look up at the sky and see a few of the scattered leaves. So now that we've done that part, all we have to do is get some decorating done. And look at this. We are all decorated here. This place is a really fun build, honestly. I love having this cafe here. We've got a little bit of indoor seating down here and our counter space back here. Plus, we've got this cute little cash register. Hopefully it kind of gives that vibe. And then we've got prep space, we've got cabinets full of everything, we've got our little blue fridge downstairs. I've hidden an ender chest behind here because I always need ender chests, so I try to make sure I have them wherever I can get to them. But then we go outside, and out here we've got so much more seating downstairs. This is where the majority of the downstairs seating is. There's, 5 or 6 tables out here? And we've got lots of flowers. I wanted to have a nice variety of various plants, but also still fit to the color scheme we set up. So we ended up with a lot of orange tulips and daisies and white tulips, and then some bamboo and cactus spread around too. Plus, I really liked adding some torch flowers to add some extra colors in just a few places, like by the door here, and I think I have one by the door upstairs. And then, of course, we've got brewing stands for our beverages. Gotta be able to brew the drinks in the cafe. And then up here, we've got not a lot of seating indoors upstairs. I mean, technically none of it's indoors. We've got it out on the patio over here, and then it outside, out front, on the second level. But this is where the main prep space is. Like, you can tell that downstairs they've mostly got drink stuff set up. Up here, they've got the space for all of the extra storage and all of the baking. And then, as I mentioned, a little more seating up here. Not as much as downstairs, but a little bit. And then some seating out front, and like I said, we did another torch flower by the door. And yeah, this is our cozy little cafe. I mean, I say little, it's 2 stories and is in the center of town. It's one of the biggest places we've built for the town area so far. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. There's something so fun about just getting a nice, cozy build made. And this definitely adds well to this center area of the town. It's good to have something to do here rather than just places to live and the main way to leave. Now there's a reason to come and stay. It's nice. So the next thing I want to do is actually take care of this armor situation. It's a little mismatched, it's a little plain, and since we've finished off the entirety of the storage room with all of our armor trim displays, we can finally figure out which ones we want to use on ourselves. So, that's what we're gonna do. Now, when it comes to the shoes, I want them to be mostly the armor trim color, which I think my best option for is Silence. So I think we're gonna do Silence shoes. I really like the head design on Razor, so I think maybe we'll take Razor for the helmet. Now, I've mentioned before that Wild is one of my favorites in terms of design, so I think Wild's gonna be what we do for our chest plate. And I want some legs that look good on their own, without a shirt over it, so I think I'm gonna go with Tide for that aspect. Need to grab the armor, and yeah, let's do it. First off, I guess let's go ahead and get our chest plate netherited. Oh, right. Cool! A new advancement! And then, so, let's do orange boots. And then diamond for the rest. So Tide pants. Wild chest plate. and razor helmet. Ooh. Ah. No, actually, I do really like how this has turned out. I'm very happy. My armor looks cool now. And it still looks pretty cool without the chest plate on, since I mostly live in my elytra. So that's pretty good too. Alright, armor done. Now, the other thing that I want to get done today, at least work on, is this area over here. When we started working on plotting out the town, we had this whole area that we set aside and laid out as a mountain range. And I want to start working on the mountain range. Now, I don't think this is going to be a task we can do all in one sitting, because this mountain range is going to stretch from here all the way out through the jungle and into the river area here. It's going to be a big section to work on, and I, quite frankly, cannot do that all at once. I don't have the time. So, we are going to do as much of it as we can and have the ability to do, and the resources. I don't know if I have enough to actually get very far in this, but we've got a few shulker boxes full of stuff on us, and we're just gonna get started and see how far we get. Cue the timers. Are starting to come along well. They're already looking mighty imposing from this side, which is amazing. Obviously, they aren't all that great yet. Like, there's still gonna be plenty of height to them for starters. This is only 2 block layers. I'm gonna do at least stone and andesite. I might move up into diorite too. I don't know if we're gonna try and do them white capped or not, but there's definitely still going to be 2 more colors going up, and it'll go a lot higher in some areas. It's probably going to meet up pretty soon over here, and obviously I've only gone just over this section, and we've got it marked out to go all the way out there. If you can see along here, we've got it marked out this way, and then we haven't figured out exactly how far we're going through here yet. But we'll get there. We'll figure it out as we get around there. It does a lot to show off what we're trying to do. A, it makes a very pretty backdrop. And, I mean, you can already see from here just how impressive that's going to look in the distance behind the field of everything. I was going to say field of wheat, but the wheat's over there. I don't know what I was thinking there. But you can see it behind the field, and it'll look gorgeous over there. It should be pretty good looking from up in the tower, too. You'll see the mountains stretching off into the distance. Hopefully I can get them tall and imposing enough to look good against these, because right now they are definitely still too short for that. But it also means when you're coming into town from the port, there's going to be this big mountain range as a backdrop to all of the excitement up here. And look at how just adding those two things today has changed things here. Look at this place. This place is starting to finally feel like something. Like, the houses were good, and the houses made a big difference in how it felt coming over from the other side. But having a cafe changes a lot from over here, too. Having the mountain range is just a backdrop to everything. This place is going to be so good, guys. Now, obviously, I do still need to name this place. We haven't gotten around to doing that yet. I'm kind of calling the area the Celestial Coast. Which, this is obviously just a river, but if we come out this way, this beach heads out into the open ocean. Like, this is just a big lake. But I'm kind of thinking maybe we connect up the lake to the ocean? Like, it connects if you go all the way around here, but there's also a lot of weird ways that this beach goes, so I'm thinking maybe we do a little bit of work to this beach and split it into two beaches and terraform this out. Also, what is up with all the chickens? Why are there chickens out here? Oh, there are so many. Why are there so many chickens? This is, how are there so many? There are more. Oh my gosh, there are so many. Why are there chickens everywhere? Wait, how long have they been here? How long has this beach been covered in chickens? What? Why are there... You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This area is the Celestial Coast. We've got the kind of starry effect with the glass panes around the town fountain. I do want to add more glass panes and possibly some end rods to kind of accentuate that some more. There's definitely not enough up there, so that's still on the horizon. We definitely need more businesses, and I am still thinking about that fruit stand. So that is definitely going to be next episode, is going to be adding a fruit stand out here somewhere. Of course, we've still got to add more houses. We've just got the 3 so far. Definitely needs more space for people to be living in. And some more businesses. I'm thinking we need a bookshop. And I don't know what else. I'm having trouble coming up with businesses, but we'll figure it out. We will. This place is really going well. And I can't wait to keep going on it. So thank you, as always, for joining me. I always appreciate y'all keeping me company here in this ghost town. And I will catch y'all later.